Paul Tennis, Specialist number 5.
That'll go on, Frank. Is the mic on? Or should I?
Yeah, there it is. It's good now.
Okay, there we go. I'm just going to sit over here and listen.
Now your name is Paul Tennis, and what branch of the service were you in?
The U.S. Army,
U.S. Army? And you said you were a specialist?
Specialist 5th class.
5th class. Okay. Which war did you serve in?
Vietnam War.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted in January 24th of 1968.
Wow. What made you decide to enlist?
I went in with the buddy plan system.
The buddy plan?
Yes, there's 3 of us that went, and I was the only one that was not eligible for the draft, and I'm the only one that passed physical. The other 2 came out 4Y.
Huh.
So that put my number up very fast.
So what was your job?
I was a constructional engineer. I ran dozers, earth scrapers, and graders.
Wow. Do you recall your first days in the service?
At Fort Benning, Georgia, is where I took basic at.
Describe that for me.
I was in with the first draftees from Puerto Rico,
Huh.
and all they could speak was Spanish. So that went well. And they brought in spinal meningitis with them.
Yikes.
And we had to bed check quite often. And you'd find your roommate, your bunkmate gone the next morning.
Oof. So,
Any type of fever that ship you to quarantine.
so what type of virus what was it called again?
Spinal meningitis.
Yes, what kind of symptoms does that have?
I really don't know.
You were lucky enough not to get it?
I didn't get it. It's deadly, though.
It's deadly.
You go to college and you never heard of it.
Nope, never never heard of it. But I have now, so.
No, they have shots for it now.
Like a vaccine?
Yeah. Your college doesn't offer it?
Probably not.
They offer you the flu shot, don't they?
Yeah, I think we can get a flu shot, but we were probably all vaccinated now.
No.
Probably at birth, maybe. I don't know. So, what did it feel like being in your first days of boot camp?
Strange. I was never in the service. Of course not. Never been in a boot camp. Never been away from home. That's quite strange.
So boot camp was your first time away from home?
Yes.
How was that like?
Strange. I mean, I would not have nothing to compare it to.
Was that hard to be away from home?
No.
You're kind of glad to get out?
No, I didn't I missed home, but I didn't cry over it. I wasn't homesick.
Speaking of your home, where are you from?
I'm from McHenry, Illinois.
Okay, I know where that is.
Really?
Yeah, it's up by Chicago, right?
Northwest Chicago.
Yep. Yeah, I had some friends up in McHenry actually McHenry Community College. They went up there.
That's where I graduated from.
Oh, really? That's very cool. So, just tell me about a couple of boot camp training experiences that you had.
Bringing in spinal meningitis, it was quite extraordinary. We didn't have to march. We were the first ones to go to the PX. We shipped every place in cattle cars. No marching, no walking. No classes. We couldn't be associated with anyone because we were quarantined.
Wow.
So we couldn't go to the PX. We couldn't go any place. They closed the PX when we did go, so we're the only company in there.
Huh.
And basic was pretty easy. No push-ups, nothing strenuous.
Nothing strenuous in boot camp because of the sickness going around. What was it like being quarantined?
First time quarantined, I knew. It was nothing strange. It was a strange area, so everything was strange.
Just kind of a really kind of bizarre, confusing time.
Yeah.
Describe to me the kind of problems that came up being in a troop of people who didn't speak any kind of English.
When we played poker, it was very difficult. But money always speaks, and it's always allowed us to speak.
Do you have any kind of particular experiences or stories about that?
No, just that there's 5 aces in a deck if you use wild cards.
Do you remember any of your instructors at boot camp?
No.
Just kind of a crazy time with all the quarantine and
No, just crazy timing because it's new.
yeah.
And I don't recall that much. AIT, I don't recall much. AIT is Advanced Individual Training, and that was at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, up the street from here. And that was for 2 months also, and that was, I went into boot camp was from January and February, March and April, we're up at Fort Leonard Wood. And that's where I learned how to operate a Cat 12 road grader.
So after you got your training in AIT, where did you end up going?
I was stationed over in Germany, in a place called Baumholder. The last city, I think, they got overseas pay in Germany. I just quit paying it when I got there. And I was a heavy equipment operator there. I ran earth scrapers. And these were big earth scrapers. Tires were 6 feet tall, 2 feet wide. And ran 6 on machine.
Wow.
Carried 21 yards of cubic dirt. And I had a very hard, strenuous job there. I built soccer fields for the Germans.
Huh.
I come into a town, and the mayor would give us the keys to the city and give us a hotel room in the guest house. That's what they were called. And we built them soccer fields. And all the kids would come out and watch us play.
Huh.
And this is in June of when we first man walking on the moon. The Germans were more excited about it than we were. They came out and tried to drag us in their house to watch it. But as dedicated soldiers, we worked. They did their job on the moon, and then we did ours in Niederstein.
So that sounded like a kind of rewarding job.
Oh, it was really fun. The hardest part was going to after drinking all this free beers, going to the John in the bar, in the guest house. It was impolite for them to interrupt you drinking beer. And, or interrupt you when you were eating dinner, which is common. But once you got up and left, you were free game. And all the Germans would come in and say, you know, my child, my Fräulein, you know, and yeah. It was quite fun.
So after your station in Germany, what did you do after that?
I had they levied everyone out after you put so long in Germany. You got trained and then you went to Vietnam. And I left after the summer was done in Germany and frost came and winter came. I was levied out to go to Nam. So I left here January 24th of January, 24th again, and went to Nam that year, in the year of 70. I spent the year of 70 over there building highways. And I was in a place called Doomsday Number 4, because evidently this was the fourth Doomsday. The other three got destroyed
Wow.
by enemy sappers.
Did you end up seeing any combat when you were in Vietnam?
No, it found me.
It found you?
I didn't have to search for it. A lot of mortars and landmines.
Can you describe what that was like?
I didn't stick around to watch. I found the nearest hole or hid in the bucket of my pan. A pan is the object that picks up the dirt.
Okay. Were there many casualties in your unit?
Just several.
Tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences.
When I was not supposed to be at this Doomsday Number 4, so I had to hitchhike or hitchhike my way down to Bin Lung where I was stationed at. And I go at the end of the runway, the tarmac. Tarmac? Yeah. And put out my thumb and get rides with helicopters. And usually it was as a door gunner, but thankfully nothing exciting happened in any of those runs. And I'd fly south to pick up my mail, which in my paycheck, which was quite good at that time. And then I'd hitchhike back. And this was about 150 miles, 200 miles, I think. So I went to a lot of places when I was over there. Don't recall seeing just there, just the tundra. Next.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
No, I was smart enough not to get any. I
How
saw
did
not to get them.
How did you stay in touch with your family when you were overseas?
There was one occasion I didn't for a long period of time. And when I got back to Bin Lung, my home base, first thing I had to do was call home. And I got a good yelling from my first sergeant to commander and everyone, because they wanted to know where I was. My parents wanted to know. They knew I was in Nam and there was no place to leave there, but I did not write home for a long period of time, and so I called up home. And then hopefully I wrote some letters more frequently. But I got a good bitching from both parents and the Army.
What was the food like when you were over there?
Good. I had no complaints. I ate and I didn't gain weight, but I stayed healthy.
Did you have plenty of supplies when you were over there?
Yeah, supplies were very well.
Did you feel a lot of pressure or stress?
None. Didn't know what it was. Still don't know what it is.
Was there anything special that you or your troop did for good luck?
No.
I sense there might be something.
No comment.
Okay, that's fair enough. And maybe a more dangerous question, how did you and your troop entertain yourselves over there?
Smoking pot. That's cannabis sativa.
Pardon?
That's cannabis sativa. It's a Latin word for it.
And was there anything else?
Going to whorehouses.
Sounds like a good time. What did you do when you were on leave?
I didn't take any leave.
No leave over in
No, I had when I would hitchhike, I had to wound up in Saigon all the time, and I didn't sign out any place, so spent all my free time, every time I went down, got paid. Didn't have any money to spend it when I went down, but had plenty of money when I came back, and always wind up in Saigon. And there were whorehouses there too.
Where did you travel besides Germany and Vietnam while you were in the service?
No place.
Those are the two places?
Amsterdam.
I imagine that was pretty wild as well.
Yes, that's the red light district up there along the canals.
Nice.
Never been to Amsterdam?
No, I've always wanted to go though. Is that,
Go before you're married.
They see it, they listen, learn.
Do you recall any kind of particularly humorous or unusual event while you were over there?
Humorous.
Yeah, like a funny story, or maybe an unusual event, just something odd.
Every day it was odd being someplace in the service. There's no particular items. Every day something new happened. Something strange.
What were some of the pranks that you or others would pull?
Wasn't that much of a joker.
Would you
So,
say it's kind of a serious time?
yeah, I mean, that's serious.
Mhm.
And there's no pranks.
Do you have any photographs from your time in service?
Yes, I have a whole load of CDs.
Really?
Yeah,
Would it be possible for us to
yes.
see some of those? That'd be great.
And by the way, I take care of all personal effects, so you can be guaranteed that you'll get it back. And what we do is we take pictures of that and put that right into the interview. Right, it goes right on the screen. Some of the pictures you have, we'll fade those in
Okay, I mean,
and fade whichever ones you want. We can go ahead.
oh, I don't know.
Okay. If you have any particular ones you
No.
prefer. Okay, it'd be helpful if we could borrow those.
Yeah.
I'll get them through Linda or Lynn or somebody.
Yeah, I mean, they're CDs and
Good. Because see, they've already got, they're already in a file.
Yeah, so we can just put them right
Be
over
real
the.
easy. With the technology we've got, we can, it's real easy to put those right up on the screen.
you know, I had an hour's worth.
What, JC, let me ask you something. Right now, if you want to describe any of those pictures right on tape, and what I'll do is we'll get the pictures. What I'm talking right now, we'll just cut that out and just, splice that out of there.
We didn't get, it is as muddy as it looks, but we didn't get stuck as much.
Okay. But you see what I'm
Are
saying?
you gonna look at it yourself?
We'll look at them and then we'll put them on there. And then if you want to describe a few, right now, describe a few of them. And I'll leave that voice track right on there while we're showing.
Yeah, any
Yeah.
kind of particular pictures?
I mean, yeah, but it was muddy.
Okay, go ahead and describe
Yeah,
some.
just go ahead and describe
And then
it.
we'll look at them and figure out which ones you're talking about, superimpose those right over when you're talking on the screen.
Well, we're down in the Delta
Okay.
building these roads. QL4 it was. And with monsoons coming every year and getting the dirt out of rice paddies, we're at 5 feet above sea level. And a lot of these pictures are just mud,
Okay.
stuck in mud. And
Is that equipment and men, or
just equipment,
everything was stuck in mud?
just equipment.
Equipment.
Yeah, men were in mud.
Those would be good pictures, I think, to see.
And they're just, a lot of them. And you'll see a lot of pictures of the town of Vin Long, the bus stop, and it's buses and people, mama sons and papa sons.
Who are some of the people in the photographs?
Michael Johnson's Pop Sickles, Carol Sickles. Called him Pop because his last name was Sickles. And he was an old man at 21. I was an old man when I got over in Nam at 21.
Yeah, but
Because I spent my 18 months before service over in Germany before I got to Nam. So I had 2 years of experience.
yeah. Excuse me.
And that's where and I came a hooch leader, a squad leader, because of my time in. So I had my own room when I was over in Nam in the Quonset hut, which isn't much, all piece of plywood between us and them.
Right.
Could you describe any other particular photographs that you might remember?
Not really.
What did you think of your fellow soldiers?
Great group of guys. The job had to be done, and we did it. I mean, they're some of the best people and friends I still talk with. I'll still get a hold of them. Today, I still talk to a bunch of them. Had 2 of them came down here to visit me, or at Danville, excuse me. And they were from Nam.
In Danville, Illinois?
Danville is a VA hospital.
In Danville, Illinois?
Danville, yeah,
Yeah, my folks live over in.
from Paris.
Well, no, they live in Indiana, just on the other side of
Oh,
the
okay.
Wabash River, across from Danville. My brother lives in Danville right now, so I know where the VA is over there.
And why ask?
I was wondering if it was the same one. There's a Danville, Indiana too,
Yeah,
and I was to make sure it was the same Danville, Illinois. So that's, I know right where that is. I grew up around it.
What did you think about your commanding officers?
they were okay. They did their job. I mean, I had one, Earl J. Rush. Still salute you. Still smoke to you too.
Describe your favorite CO and your least favorite CO.
Don't have any.
They're all pretty much even.
Yeah, I mean yeah, they're all about even.
Did you keep any kind of personal diary over there?
No.
Do you recall the day your service ended?
Yes.
Describe that to me.
When I left Nam, there was a movie that just started showing. Brand new movie out. And we were all outside watching it. And these are all Vietnam veterans ready to go home, coming out of the field, coming out of every place. And this was at Cameron Bay. And the show we were watching, so it had to be Easy Rider. And,
Yes, I remember that.
well, we had our excess supplies of canvas, and when we left, the colonel says, "You gotta leave it here. You can't take it home with you." I think he got high walking by. Because I was outside theaters.
Yeah,
What did you do?
You know, I came back, I left there in January, in December, which would still be their summer. And came back December 3rd and landed in Fort Dix, and which is winter here. And at the airport at Fort Dix, you could see all the people who were over in Nam and the ones that were shipping other destinations, and going over to Germany, going to Nam or something like that. It was cold, but they had stovepipes hanging down from the ceiling, blowing hot air down, and all of Nam vets were underneath this hot air, just because we were freezing our ass off.
What did you do in the days and weeks afterward?
I got home and it was Christmas, and got home. My dad let me sleep the first day, and next morning he woke me up at 6 o'clock and says, "Let's go to work." And we were selling Christmas trees at the time, and so I went to sell Christmas trees.
What did you do after that?
I stayed straight and had to be a good kid. You want to know the truth?
Sure.
You asked what we did for luck? Well, we rubbed Buddha's belly, and I still have Buddha.
Oh, yeah.
Buddha came home with a numerous amount of cannabis sativa in its belly, and I got busted for it. I had the Illinois Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, the United States Postal Service knock on my door December 3rd,
Wow.
and I got busted with those numerous pounds of cannabis. They never know how much because they never found it.
Ah,
They never turned it in. The police never turned it in.
oh, really?
They kept it.
Wow.
My lawyer went over, that's how I beat the rap. They wanted to know how much they found, and
Oh,
they couldn't find it. They couldn't produce the evidence.
Wow.
so you were off, you were off the hook, then didn't make a
Yeah.
difference. Yeah,
They didn't find it.
very good.
I think someone died over it.
You said somebody died over it?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I mean, I think a IBI agent got killed over it.
Oh, man.
I mean, he died shortly thereafter. I think he sold it, some of it, or did something, he died in the line of action.
That sounds suspicious.
And a couple of nurses from Chicago seen the shooting.
Huh.
Lakey, I think his name was. Lakey or Lackey.
Whoa.
Well, all speculations.
Of course.
What ended up bringing you to Quincy?
Came from Danville, and it's for the rehabilitation to get up and walk again, to walk out of here.
if you don't mind me asking, what happened?
Accident working at home, cutting down a tree, and the tree popped up and hit me in the head
Ouch.
and gave me a brain aneurysm.
Wow.
Well, when did that happen?
About 3 years ago.
3 years.
How's the rehab going?
Not as fast as I like, but they said it's working.
It's great.
Glad you asked.
So did you, like, what other trades did you pick up after the service, or did you go back to school?
Went back to school. I went to school when I was in service. Took University of Maryland classes when I was in Germany. Then got out, took a college level entrance program, CLEP. Passed some of that. Went to McHenry Junior College. Graduated from there. And then went down to Eastern Illinois University, which is in Charleston. And was a professional student there, living on a GI Bill. And didn't graduate, but I have a hell of a lot of hours. I set some records there too.
Yeah.
So what did you do after Eastern?
I became using my trade as a road grade operator. I worked for a township and built 7 Hickory Township, located north of Charleston. A township and a half it is. And so it's 5 by 9 miles. And built roads there for them. And then I ran for a road commissioner, was elected road commissioner, public official for a while. And then got married and had to move out of the township. And got a job at the university as a groundskeeper. And that's with other sort of jobs in between.
Did you make any kind of close friendships while you're in the service?
Oh yeah, still got them going.
Describe a few of those for me.
I got Michael Johnson that lives up in Wisconsin. I got Popsicles that lives down in Georgia. And I still carry their phone numbers around and still talk to Mike every month or 2 months.
You said a few came to see you.
Yeah. They came down and bought jungle hats. Because there's, over in Nam, we have in the company PX, which is a small Vietnamese-owned shop. You know, it's sat on pallets of, no bigger than 8 by 8. Got haircuts in there, shaves, and they were selling jungle hats. And it just so happened that we had a shipment of jungle hats come in, and we didn't get them. So I called it to my CO's attention, and we had a petition signed by all members except for one, and he wanted to be a lifer and of the company. And we sent that to our colonel, and well, the little Vietnamese shop was closed shortly thereafter. And this is when early J. Rush called me on the carpet. She can't sign petitions in the service. I go, we did. These are aliases.
So, describe how you have continued relationships with some people you met in the service.
Just by phone. Went to visit them. When I first got out of service, went to visit a lot of people. I hitchhiked around the United States when I got out. Yeah, for a whole summer, over a summer. Just hitchhiked. Went to see them. Everyone, lots of them. And went to see the Grand Canyon. Walked the Appalachian Trail. Just hitchhiked all over the United States. Went to all 50, all of 48 states. I wound up in Hawaii when I came back, and I went to Hawaii, went to Nam, and landed in Hawaii. Was there a very short time, and came back through Alaska.
Oh.
So I've been to all 50 states. Sometimes it was nighttime, but I've been to all 50. Sometimes some states were longer.
That's quite an accomplishment, going to all 50 states.
Yeah,
And you hitchhiked to all 50 states?
no,
Okay, you've been.
48.
Okay, oh, I mean, but you hitchhiked to 48 of those states?
Yeah.
That's a lot of hitching.
Yeah, a lot of stories. Kept a journal during that one. Got me an A in English class.
A lot of good narratives.
Yeah.
Did you join any veterans organization?
Yes, I'm a lifetime manager of the VFW Post 1592 in Charleston. Was sergeant of the guard and a chaplain, believe it or not. And the funeral detail went to 23, 25 funerals so far.
Wow.
And went to one. We have an old M1s, and we would shoot off at the end of the funeral. And we're shooting one time, and my gun went off, and I thought I really screwed up. But mine was the only gun that fired. So we didn't do too good that time. It was hard to get 7 guys together. Now they got a official burial detail. And they all look pretty spiffy.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or the military in general?
No.
Could you describe your thoughts?
No.
Um,
I don't have any. I mean,
um,
I think that they're doing a fine job now. I hope they behave better than I do, and hope they weren't like me. Good guy jobs. I hope they're all upstanding American citizens and don't do anything I did. Aren't doing anything I did.
in your veterans organization, what kind of activities does your post or association have?
Well, we have bike-a-thons for the kids. They have a Poppy Day. They're a very well respected organization in the community. Very donated to 4th of July's and do the parade march on Memorial Day, and very active in the community. Frank Smith would tell you. He's
Who is Frank Smith?
he's the chief commandant. No,
He's here at the.
no. Frank Smith would be the PR man for the Post.
Oh, I got
I mean, there's a name for him. He's in the It's voted on. You're a VFW member, are you?
No,
You aren't either, are you?
No.
but it's a post position.
No, elected position in the VFW organization. Every post has one.
I know what you're saying, but I can't remember what the position's called. It's a director position, but I can't remember there's another name for it.
Yeah. Makes two of us.
I know it, I just can't remember.
Adjutant, no. What he does is a PR.
Yeah, they have all the PR stuff.
Anyway, do you attend reunions?
No.
How did your service and experiences in the military affect your life?
Right now, I don't. If I wasn't in the military, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be at this Quincy VA hospital. Never thought, when I was in the service, I never thought I'd be here either. Once I made it out, I thought that was it. And I was done with the military. But seeing I put in my 3 years, they're able to still take care of me.
That's good.
Is there anything that you would like to add that we haven't covered, like any kind of funny story or any kind of memorable experience?
No.
Okay, well, I think that about does it on our end. I'd like to thank you for taking time.
My beer's getting warm.
Yeah, Paul, it was very interesting.
Very good meeting you.
Thank you for your service to the country, too.
Yeah.